Hey everyone, welcome back to the Shift Podcast. I'm your host, Ricardo. This is a podcast where inspiration meets leaders, mentors, and the everyday person who wants to be inspired. So join me this episode. I will be interviewing the amazing Reuben. And Reuben is the guy that normally, is behind the camera. He's a freelance filmmaker. He's a videographer and he's a photographer. So the man is no longer behind the camera, he's in front of the camera. So welcome, Reuben, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
Does it feel weird?
It does feel weird, yeah. I'm always used to, I say thank you very much for having me as if I'm not here every Sunday. But yeah, it feels weird.
Yeah.
Just seeing the room from this angle itself.
Yeah, just give people a little bit of background. Who's Reuben? What is it you do? Whoever you worked with, and just a little bit of background.
So I'm Reuben. I'm 18. I'm a freelance photographer, videographer, editor, anything. Name it, anything media based, I do it.
Yeah.
I've worked with various different organizations doing stuff, whether it's charity related, volunteering, or big organizations like the Welsh Rugby Union. Stuff like that. Yeah.
All good, all good. So this week's episode is all about a Mother's Day special. It is Mother's Day today, and we want to celebrate our mothers. And it's not just, it's kind of weird because it's not in South Africa. In South Africa, it's, I think it's the 11th of May, where it's Mother's Day. And like you were saying, certain parts of the world is different. But, we celebrating, because we're in the UK. So happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there working hard, doing what you're doing. We salute you. We appreciate you guys. So keep doing what you're doing. And so, Reuben, first question. How would you describe your mother in a few words?
My mum. She's quirky, intelligent, and has good morals. I know that's not a single word, but it's difficult.
That is big, man.
It's difficult to describe her in a few words just because she's so, she can be so different around certain people, not in like a bad way.
Yeah.
Like she's quite quirky, funny around her friends, but then at home it's like, or if I'm meeting new people, she's always like making sure that I'm presenting myself in the best way, or making sure, letting people know that she's made me well mannered and stuff like that. So, in a lot of different ways, yeah, she is like a different person with depending on who she is and the situation.
Different facets here.
But well mannered, I think mainly is.
My mother, I would say, is that compassionate, respectful, also very community orientated, very community driven, love to help people, bringing the best out of people. And so, there's different facets, isn't it? There's different facets to our mum. So how do you think that description might change as you continue to grow and experience life?
I think it will change, definitely. I think as a kid, when you're looking at your mum, you see her as, oh, mum, don't let me do anything. You don't necessarily look at the good side of things. It's just like, oh, my mum doesn't let me come out today, guys. I'm sorry. And then as you get older, you sort of view it as like, oh, okay, that's why you didn't let me do certain things, or you made me do these things or these chores. It's like, there's a whole backstory behind it to make sure that I came out with good morals and stuff like that. So I think as you do get older, you do start to see things from a more, from a different perspective, really.
Can you think of a time when your mom said or did something that made you see things differently or shifted your perspective on life?
I would say it's like a collective of things, really, because as a kid, I was like...
you said in the car when
in school, in school, I was like quite bad, just treating teachers terribly, being really disrespectful. And obviously my mum never ever taught me to do that. So when she found out, she found out. And the consequences were big.
Wow.
So yeah, I think it was just as I grew older and as things went along, and then sort of having to deal with these conversations, because my mum would tell me off in front of everyone. It's not like she'd come to the school and pick me up and then take me home and then tell me off. It was, she came to the school and told me off in front of the whole school.
Wow. How did you feel?
And let the school know that, I think it was embarrassing in the moment, because deep down I knew, I shouldn't be doing those things. And I knew my mum probably felt embarrassed about it.
Oh.
just because it was like, why is my child behaving in this way when I never, ever, ever taught my child to be like that?
Yeah.
So yeah, it was just a series of things, just engraving the fact that morals are a big part of you, and picking the right people to hang around with is quite a big thing. And then eventually I got there.
You got there. Do you know, when you told me that in the car, I couldn't believe it. Remember, I was saying to you that you said about when you were 13, and in my mind, I was like, Reuben has always been the person that he is. So it's kind of credit to your mum. It is that values, that morals, you know. It helps with decision making. You know, if you have values, that's why she's reminding you of, hey, I raised you better. You know, and it's that reminders of like you say, you already knew. Like, oh my days, mom has been called in. So you already know what's going to go down.
Every time I knew what was going to happen. As soon as she walked through those doors and I saw those lips open, it would just be a 10-minute rant of how she did not raise me to be that way.
Wow.
And that's not, and she'd always be like, right, when we get home, she'd let the teachers know that I'd be told off when I get home as well.
Wow. I remember my mum one day said to me that I'm not raising you for myself, but I'm raising you to impact the world. I'm not just raising you for myself to keep you, but I'm raising you to impact the world. So the values, the morals, the principles you're talking about is that sort of thing that is so crazy, because I didn't meet you when you were 13. I met you when you were 17?
16, maybe 17.
Yeah, I met you then, but I knew that, man, this young man has got potential and he's got values. But just to know that maybe 4 years before that, would I have said the same thing? Probably
not. Yeah.
And so the values that they instill in us is so amazing, and it's a different way when moms correct you, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know. It was something about my mum. I feel like my dad was always quite chill. And I think that over time became a little bit of the problem. Like, my mum was the one enforcing all these rules and making sure that things were happening in this house. Like, I know it's Sunday, but you're helping me clean the house.
Yeah.
Whereas my dad, you just sitting, chilling. He was a bit like me now, to be honest. Like, I'm just so chill.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Like, people are like, "Oh, what are you up to?" I'm just chilling. I don't do much with my life, to be fair. But not in like a sad way.
Yeah.
But like, I'm just that type of person. I'm just a chill person. I'd rather not do anything.
Yeah.
But my mum is always like, get up and go. Like, this needs to be done. This needs to be done. The house needs to look like this. It's like,
yes.
Yeah.
Wow, that's phenomenal. At the age of 19, how would you say your relationship with your mum has shifted as you become more independent or started to make decisions on your own? How has the relationship shifted, or did it shift?
I think it has, yeah, because for me, there's a lot of things that have happened to me, my family. So it's like a bit of like an emotional development. I think we've all matured emotionally. So being able to connect with my mum emotionally and like being able to show emotion to my mum. Even stuff like hugging my mum. Like, I used to a lot when I was a kid, but then there was that big gap in your teenage years where it's like, no, don't go near me. But yeah, I think there has been a big shift in the way I view my mum, even just looking for questions, about things. It's like, right, so when I get taxed, where does it go? Like, stuff like that. But yeah, I think more importantly, it's like emotionally, I think I've developed as a person, because I wouldn't really show much affection to anyone as a kid, just because that's when I grew up. My dad wasn't really affectionate towards my mum, so I didn't really see any of that. But now I realise the importance of that.
Wow.
I think developing through that is like making sure that my mum feels that as well.
So good.
And show that to my mum, that there is like some level of affection. It's like, yeah, I do care about you, by the way. Like, you are my mum. Like,
that is amazing. The other week when I dropped you off, I saw your mum and your sister. They went into Banatu for a walk.
Yeah.
And what was amazing is, like, she asked you, and you're like immediately like, gonna put down all the equipment, and you kind of like bounce with them. That for me was so powerful, because 19-year-old is like, we always, most 19-year-olds were like, nah, I'm not, going with mum. But when I saw that, I was really touched by that, because it's like, man, this is amazing, because this is that family journey together, the emotional side, and connecting with her. What would you say to young people? See that we're on that. How can they connect with particular, because it's Mother's Day special, like with their mums? Because you could have just gone in, chill, but yet you went walking.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe just choose to do those little things that, like, in the moment you're like, oh, I can't be bothered.
Yeah.
But because I did that a lot, actually, until recently. And I think it was coming here to film. I don't know, there's something about coming here, just listening to the people that we have on. I went home and I was like, you know, yeah, I will go for a walk. Because all the time I'm like, oh, no, I can't be bothered. Or no. But I think it's just making time for your mum.
Yeah.
Like, as much as you don't want to, you're not doing anything. Like, it's not going to hurt going for a walk or going for a coffee for 2 hours. So yeah, just make time for them. And as much as you don't feel like that's going to impact them a lot, it's going to mean a lot more to them than you think it will.
Yeah, because you made a joke. You were saying like, oh, I might even get a ice cream. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But then afterwards, when you were sharing about, now the walk was really good, that conversations, that family dynamic of the bond that you guys have was really, really encouraging for me to see that. And then, like you're saying, a lot of young people, it's just like, make it not even your duty, just you're part of a family, you're part of a team, you're part of, just engage.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Just engage. And this is, again, with the whole Ubuntu thing, I am because we are. It's like, you can't live in isolation.
Yeah.
And don't kind of like put yourself in a spot where you're isolated and then it's like, nobody loves you.
Yeah.
It's like, no, get yourself out of that.
Yeah.
So what's something you admire about your mum? Now that now that you didn't fully appreciate it when you were younger, what is it now?
I think just the way she holds herself, like, because as a kid, I think I was quite oblivious to a lot of things that were happening.
Yeah.
And now I sort of understand those. It's like, wow, like you've sort of held yourself up high and you've looked after 5 kids.
Yes.
While going through all that. So I think I just respect her. Like, you got to be a hard woman to be able to get through like that stuff, you know?
Yeah.
And even her upbringing, I think she had quite a difficult upbringing. And I think she sort of uses that to ingrain morals onto us. And it's like, you need to make the most of what you have.
Yes.
You know, and do something with it while you can and while you have these opportunities. Just because, you know, she didn't necessarily have it when she was younger. So I think mainly just admire just the way she's just willing to do anything for other people, you know, help other people out. Wow.
That is, you know, it just touches me, because sometimes we say that your environment shapes you. And in most cases, you can become the opposite of what you didn't get. What she got, what she saw, isn't necessarily what she became. She became the opposite of that. And I think in life, that's so important, that the stuff that we didn't get. You know, for me, I grew up without my father, you know, really, not him being there. He's there, but it's not there.
Yeah.
And so my mom, 5 kids, and at one point, my mom just told me that at one point it was 30 people living in our house. 30, not 10, not 13, like 30. 30 people living in the house. But it's that whole community, making sure people, you know, people get the opportunity to kind of like launch them to where they want to go. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so, but that there is like, she could have just said, man, I don't care about these kids either. But she stood. That steadfastness, as you're saying about your mom, being steadfast, being like, hey, I'm going to instill in these guys, not in a militant way, but in a way where you just know it's just enough. Yeah, just enough. Yeah. Just enough.
To make sure I remember it. Yeah.
And does she have that kind of, I normally say like some parents have that gift when they start looking at you, where you know, they give you that look. Is there a look that she's got where you know, like, I'm in trouble?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. You can't describe the look, but it is. You just describe it as the look, yeah. Well, I know when I'm in trouble before I'm in trouble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. So how has your mom's support or advice, you were saying earlier about advice, how has your mom's support or advice impacted your decision making as you transition now from that 13-year-old into where you are now? How that support or advice, how did it impact you?
I think the main thing is like, as much as it sounds bad, but do things for yourself.
Okay.
I think because I was younger, I think I didn't really think about myself, and it was like all to impress other people. So anything I did and all my actions were just for the sake of other people.
Yeah.
You know, flicking elastic bands around the classroom, throwing
Yeah.
pencils at each other. It's like,
Yeah.
I'm not doing that because I enjoy doing it. I'm doing it because the attention I'm getting from others around me. So I think the main thing I've really learned is just do things for yourself, and then you'll see the benefit of that.
Yeah.
And that has worked with like my freelance stuff as well. It's like, take these opportunities and do it for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can then use that to do better work with maybe smaller organizations or charities or other things that you're more passionate about, which is for others. But yeah, it's mainly just look at yourself and then see what do you need to benefit from, and will this benefit you?
Yeah.
And again, not in a selfish way. I think it's important just to look at things and for the sake of your benefit rather than others. You've got to prioritize yourself sometimes. And I think my mum doesn't do that though, because I think as a mum of 5 kids, she feels like she has to prioritize us.
Yeah.
And I think only recently has she started prioritizing herself and sort of taken on the advice that she gave to all of us.
Yeah.
Which is nice to see. But yeah, I think just prioritizing yourself, evaluate yourself, and then make decisions based on that.
100%. I was saying to my mom, this year will be 70 years old in December. And it's the same thing that you're saying about not prioritizing themselves. It's like, you know, when you fly on plane and they say the oxygen mask on yourself first, and so you can help somebody else. Because you can only give what you have. You know what I mean? It's like, so for me, it's like with my mum, it's like not prioritizing. And sometimes you just want to say, hey, just go away and go and take yourself to a restaurant or buy a nice dress or buy for you.
Yeah.
It will always be like, yeah, but I can get Reuben something, or I can get Ricardo something, you know, like that. And it's not being selfish. It's about self-care.
Self-care.
You have to take care of yourself so that you can give more as well, but not at the expense of you giving and then, you know, suffocating yourself or frustrating yourself. You know what I mean? And so that's that kind of, again, because in the beginning we were saying about what type of person she is, like I'll say about my mom as well, and you see it working out in every day. Even if you say, "Oh, mom, take some time out," but will still be that 5. The 5, you know, making sure that the 5 is all good. So how did you want to say something? Okay. How do you think your mother's influence has shaped your values, or how you see the world around you? How did that influence shape your values?
I think, like I said, because of her upbringing, I think the main thing was I reflected on my upbringing and sort of became more grateful for what I had. Yeah. And then I think I started prioritizing the right things. Yeah. And then obviously that turned into the right values and being able to, I think, see things in a different way and not just like I was saying before, it's like you can't just make other people feel happy or like, what's the word? I can't think of the word now. But like, making other people feel happy, but you got to like reflect on yourself and you got to prioritize yourself and you got to look at yourself and you got to embrace certain morals that have been taught to you, and not sort of change the way you are or change the person you are to benefit other people or to make other people like you more. Yeah. So I think the biggest thing for me that I've learned is just be yourself, but also reflect on yourself and embrace the morals that you know have been given to you. Like, like even when I was younger and I was naughty, I knew I had those morals. They were always there. Yeah. But I just threw them away just for the small benefit of attention and
gratification,
perhaps more friends and gratification. Yeah. But yeah, I think now I'm just looking at it from a more personal perspective of I'm lucky to have what I have, and to be able to pass that on to the next generation when I'm older, or to other people, friends and family around me.
Yeah. What would you say are some of those morals, those values that you've learned?
Respect and treating others how you want to be treated. I think that's a big thing. My mum's always worked with children, like youth work and stuff like that. So I think she would always tell them, you know, treat others how you want to be treated. And it's true. Like, it's not just for kids. It's like, just with people working around you, like with freelance as well. It's like, because of my age, I get maybe treated a different way to other people, or I get put in a certain category, and then, but maybe I don't get one paid as much as somebody else might do if they're 40 years old, or I might not get the work at all. And I think it's just more like you have to, I don't know, I think some things you just have to accept anyway. But I don't know, it's a difficult one. It is a weird one. Because you're asking all these questions. And like some things it's like you don't even think about. And it just naturally happened. Like the shift from being a kid to now, it's happened so naturally. And I think for me, with stuff that's happened in my personal life, I think I've just sort of put a mental block. And I've just ignored things that happened along the way.
You're right.
And I've just got to where I am now. And only now am I looking back and realising how I've changed as a person. Because I couldn't even put my finger on where I stopped misbehaving.
And that's why when you said it in the car, like 13, I was thinking like, okay, how did it shift? And you said it just...
Yeah, I have no idea. Yeah. So only now, it's like I'm getting stumped on these questions. They don't seem that deep, but like when you think about it and you haven't thought about it before, it's like I don't know where these changes actually happened, because so much of my life has just been a bit of a blur with everything going on. But
it's similar to what Hefty was saying when he was on the episode, isn't it? Like, it's like we don't, subconsciously, it's kind of like, it's just what we do, isn't it? But is that reflective? And because it's this Mother Day special, everything is about what they've instilled in you, what she has still instilled in you. And kind of like, again, the Ubuntu thing, if you win, I win. Your mom is winning when you're winning. And vice versa. There's this whole community, the values, the morals, the principles are the things that's driving your decision making. What's your friendship circles now? Like, how do you see, what do you value about friendships then?
Well, my friendship circle is very different. Not the same people. I think I'm only friends with one person I was friends with when I was younger. Which says a lot, to be honest, because as I lost those friends, I sort of changed as a person. Obviously, you are who you hang out with really as a kid, because you're so influenced by other people. So I think now they're like, I think my friends are quite mature and immature at the same time. Obviously, you have your moments where you're messing about, but like I think they're quite mature. They know what they want to do, and I think that's what I needed around me. It was like, oh, hang on, all these people got their heads screwed on. Maybe I gotta fix what I'm doing wrong. But yeah, I think my friends have made me realise as well that.
See, that's where the change. That's where the change happened, because your vibe attracts your tribe. And if you have one friend, what is it about that friend that kind of like, the others didn't stick it out. What is it about this one that kind of like made you be like, listen, I'm gonna step it up? Or how did things shift for you there?
I don't know. I think we've always just had the same interests, like, and we've always been quite like-minded. You know, I was over his house every single day, like without fail. But I don't know. I think we used to build things like tree houses together as kids, like with all these big power tools that his parents had. But I think, and then I think he just went on his own little journey. And we stopped talking for quite a while, and then we sort of reconnected again, and we were like to see each other, like how we are now, where we are up to. But I don't know. I think it's just something, because we're so similar.
There we are.
But we can also we were talking about this the other day, actually. We were like, we can spend months away from each other and then we'll catch up like 4 months later and be like, oh, how have you been? Like
And it
we're
just
best
feels-
mates again. Like it's not like we haven't seen each other for 6
Yeah,
months,
yeah.
which is weird. But yeah, I don't know why he stuck around, but we're still best mates.
But you just said there is similarities there. There is this
Yeah.
a respect due to others as you would want them to do for
Yeah.
you. And so it's that, like, your tribe, your vibe attracts your tribe. And it's that similar thing. There's some of my friends that I could be like, you know, for months. And you talk as if like, it's not like, yo, why are you calling now, mate? You should have called. Why aren't you calling? You're throwing me out, you're throwing me away. Like,
Yeah.
no. But it feels instinctively, it's like to be continued. And that's the kind of values that you have. And as I would encourage young people, it's like it's important that you have values, because the values will help you make good decisions. And I think a lot of our young people want to play the comparison game. And then we are actually compromising. Deep down, we know better,
Yeah.
but we don't. And that will get you in trouble. And it's like I was saying to young people, like, if you wake up early in the morning, if your mom keeps waking, like, let me ask you the question. Did you wake up by yourself when you were in school, or your mom had to?
Oh no! Every morning, my mum would come into my room at least 3 times to tell me to get out of my bed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did she come in with a smile after the third time?
No. She would actually, in the second time, she would come in. She'd grab the bottom corners of my duvet and pull it off me.
Pull it, yeah. Pull it, exactly. Now imagine you set your alarm. You up early before she gets into your room. You're already up. You're already ready. That, I say to young people, that there is setting your mom up to win, because her emotional state in terms of happiness has increased. And that's what it is about. That's what you can give back to your parents.
Yeah.
You can give back to your mom as like, then mom goes to work with, man, do you know what's crazy? It's weird, but Reuben woke up early this morning.
Yeah.
And they're like, how did you get him to do that? And it's like, no, you just decided that he was going to set his alarm, and all the stress is not on her. That unnecessary stress is not on her. So you're setting her up for a good day. And this is what I'm saying to them. Is like, it's not just about the money. It's not about gifts. It's not about that. It's about the morals. It's about the morals that you're implementing. And when they see you're actually implementing the morals, that won't tell you off.
Yeah.
It's just how it is. But 2 more questions, and then what's one thing you've learned from your mom that's helped you deal with challenges or difficulty?
I think it's perseverance, really, because my mum isn't one to give up.
Yeah, you said, yeah.
Like, she's always faced challenges that have come out of the blue, and she's, without hesitation, she's persevering. She's finding solutions to the problem.
Yeah.
So I think it is just perseverance and finding your way through things.
Yeah.
And just not looking at the situation and go, oh, I can't be bothered with this.
Yeah.
And like, yeah, pushing through things. I think because she's very strong like that. I think she's, any situation, she'll push through it and she'll find the best out of it.
Come on, man. Super mom.
Yeah.
Super mom. Where to get the strength from and the wisdom from is just crazy. Last question. On this Mother's Day, what's one thing, 2 things, 3 things, whatever you can think of? On this Mother's Day, what's one thing that you want to express to your mom as you reflect on how she shaped who you are becoming? So this is still a process.
Yeah.
What you're becoming. What would be the things I say on this Mother's Day? I want to say, Mom, da, 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 da.
Mainly thank you, actually, because I don't think I've been appreciative of enough about what I've had through my childhood.
Yeah.
And that realization has only come now. So, yeah, I think I'd want to let her know that I do notice things that she does for me, and I do appreciate them. Sometimes I do struggle to show that emotively,
Yeah.
and show the emotion and show physically how I feel about things. But deep down, I do genuinely appreciate everything she does for me.
She will watch this one.
Yeah, and I'll send it. I'll make sure I send her.
Yeah, definitely,
and
man.
Then leave the room because I don't want to.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't want to hear my emotions.
Yeah. But that's it. You know, for me as well, is that whole appreciation that she is she's being represented by you even sitting here. The person that you are right now is an extension of who she is, because resilient, the fight in you, the okay, I know where I want to go, is an extension of who she is. So, man, I want to just say to all the moms out there again, thank you so much for joining us. But we appreciate you. We thank you. Even if some young people, some of your kids are like, just keep at it. Keep reminding them of the values, of the morals, and keep doing what you're doing, man. And on this day, we want to say thank you. Is there any last encouragement you want to give to the moms out there? What would you say?
Just don't give up on your kids, really, because you have a lot of people where their kids are misbehaving and they're like, whatever, man.
Yeah.
But I think just like you say, instill the morals, and I think just keep going at them, because eventually it will pay off. And once they've matured and they reflect back and they realise it will all pay off and they'll become something bigger than they were before.
Oh, thank you so much, Reuben, for joining me. And it's kind of weird because the next episode, he will be back.
I'll be right there
on the camera. But I wanted you to kind of like share, your thoughts as well. Like I said, the other day when I saw you and your mom and your sister, I just felt like, you know what, that's beautiful. There's something healthy about your family, about your relationship with mom and your sister. And it's just phenomenal. So to my mom, love you, appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing. Keep being a champion. So guys, next week, back again on the Shift Podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. We will catch you on the next episode. Peace.